of equipment that we can use short of a pair of pruning shears. The Mozzie injection system and the Dosematic injection system are two extremely simple units. They work two different ways. They're both more or less driven by water, but there are a few differences between the two of them, a few pros, a few cons that we're going to cover real quick. Go over. I'd like to say I can fill up to 30 minutes, but I'm not quite that eloquent, or whatever adjective you use to describe me. But we'll get it going. We'll let you see it. Well, too many people know me already. It's unfortunate. But anyway, going over the few differences between the two injection systems. We'll cover the Mozzie first. The Mozzie is a Venturi type system which operates on a pressure differential to create a vacuum. What you'll do is you turn a couple of valves on, block the flow of water going across so that it all goes through the Mozzie, and it creates a vacuum and just sucks it right out. It's very simple, very straightforward. It's very cheap, effective. There's just not a lot of downside to it. You know, nobody's going to want to steal a piece of plastic that's that long.
No moving parts.
There's not a single moving part. The only moving part in it is a spring and a ball. And
how much flow do you have to get it?
It varies from the least little bit of flow all the way up to it. They come in all different sizes. The one I use in my vineyard that I started off using in mine when I had 3 acres of grapes was designed to run a flow of about 20 gallons a minute in through there, and it works fine for that. The same one won't work on a one that's smaller. It won't work near as well. And, you have a harder time creating the pressure differential that you need from one side to the other to create the vacuum in through there.
So basically what you're dealing with is a little T of plastic that's got a little narrowing of the orifice right around that T section. So upstream of this little T you have more pressure than downstream. Or I'm sorry, opposite of that. So as it moves through this little area, the pressure increases and that sucks water out of the bucket. And that bucket's going to have either fertilizers or pesticides or insecticides or whatever it is that you're trying to put into your water. But it's a very simple system. The website can be very helpful in determining which model of injector you want. This particular model that we have works real well on our blocks that are an acre or larger. Blocks that are smaller than an acre I have to put together inside my irrigation control box so that we have the correct amount of flow and back pressure and so forth. But there's a step-by-step process on the Mozzie injector website called the injector selector. Tells you which injector you should use.
One of the things that I found when I began rigging up mine is I actually used banjo fittings. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what banjo fittings are, but they will clamp on, and you can clamp it on, use it when you're ready to use it, and then undo the clamps real quick and easy, pop it right off, and it comes right out. So you can take it and put it away. He's using a coupler on here. He's going to be able to take this off for us.
I have more than one well. I don't need more than one injector. I just have the same setup at my other site. I unscrew it and I take it down there. So this is it. As the water flows through it, the pressure increases and it draws water up through it. I've got an extra little metering valve here so that I can decrease the rate that it sucks creates the pressure differential. There's no such thing as suction. Sorry, that's one of my trips I like to talk about sometimes. But at any rate, I can control how fast it goes into my irrigation system with this little valve here. You can also add a small little piece that's actually a flow meter so you can precisely know how fast you're going in. We talk about wetting the soil first, then injecting your product into wet soil, and then running your system clean so that you're getting all the product out of your lines into your soil. But this is the little system. I'm sorry?
You run it surfactant with it?
No, I don't. But when I'm first figuring out the time lengths, I put some dye into the water so that I know how long it takes to exit, for all the water to exit that particular block. For my flow out here, it takes about 20 minutes from right here to get to the most hydraulically distal point in each system.
One of the things that somewhat of a downside of this is that it's pretty much what you get is what you see. You know, you're not going to get a lot of adjustment in it as far as adjusting your rate. You're controlling your rate by the volume you mix up and you put in there. You're not controlling it based upon any other thing. Like
you can change the rate slightly by changing the pressure differential, but it's not a huge rate that you can change that.
Yeah, it's very slight, and you know, it's not really even enough to really say that it's very flexible. It's relatively inflexible piece of equipment. But that being said, it is extremely effective, and for people that have particularly smaller blocks, it works extremely well on. You know, a lot of these Mozzies will cost you around $100, and some few more. The Dose Max are more expensive than that, but these are two of the best bang for your bucks type products that you can get.
One of the things we didn't mention right away, and that is really the reason to use these types of injectors, is they don't require electricity.
Right there.
What kind of dye do you use? Just like a RIT dye or something like that?
I used what I found in my shed down there, but I used a dye that specifically is for using in spray rigs to see if you're getting good coverage foliarly or in herbicides, and it breaks down with UV light. So you could drink it, but your teeth would be blue for a while, unless you went and
lay that with your mouth open. The next type of injector we'll cover real quick is the Dosematic. Dosematic is a fluid-driven system that as the water runs, he's going to bring it over and let us look at it as well. As the fluid runs from one end to the other, it causes a little piston to go up and down, which creates a suction that goes up and mixes it proportionally into the mixing chamber. Get Wesley gets over here with it.
I can't make it a while. I can make it part way over.
We have this right here is one of control is adjustable in through here to control the rate at which it takes in the chemical or the product that you're mixing. Here's the mixing chamber is right in here, which it comes in here and is mixed into this and it flows out. This part right in here is a piston that basically just goes up and down just like a piston does.
As the water flows faster, the piston moves faster, so it's proportional to your water flow.
Right. Another good thing about this is this little switch right here on the top. This say you turn it on and off. You turn it on that way or off that way and on that way. With the Mozzie, it's not terribly complicated, but there are a few more dials that you have to deal with in this. This one is one of the downsides of this one is that it does have a few moving parts. It actually comes with a kit to repair it when you buy it. It actually comes with the O-rings to replace the O-rings that wear out and things of that nature. But it does offer you some more flexibility in that you can
adjust it while it's operating. It's easy to adjust it. So what I'm using this for right now is injecting acid into my irrigation water. Coming out of the well, we're at about 8.2. Well, a lot of things aren't available to the vine at 8.2. My soil's also pretty alkaline. So what I'm trying to do here is make my irrigation water come down below, well, right about 6.0. When it exits the dripper, it's about 6.1. And I'm trying to basically acidulate the root zone around my vine. If I can make just that little area, I talked earlier this morning how we absorb all our nutrients in that top about 18 inches to 2 feet of soil. So if I can slightly acidulate that area around my roots, a lot more nutrients are going to become available to our vines. At one point throughout this vineyard's life, we didn't acidulate the water one year, and there was a big difference in the visual symptoms as far as nutrients were concerned. So we feel that by acidulating our water down to about 6, coming out of the well, comes out into the field just above 6, we feel that we get a lot better nutrient uptake. We're not changing the pH of the soil. We're changing the pH of the water solution that's around the roots.
Which acid?
It doesn't really matter, but the cheapest one and the one that's kind of standard is hydrochloric acid.
Charlie, on that little pulse meter that you're running in the